Okay, quick disclaimer here. This is not meant to be a tutorial. I have built exactly 0 palapas in my life, and I've witnessed only 1 palapa actually being built. If you use this as a tutorial, just be aware that you will probably die. So we interviewed about 4 palaperos to do the job, and we ended up deciding on this guy, Demetrio. Look at this guy. I mean, he's straight out of central casting, and he knows what he's doing. So he's going over what we have laid out for him and letting us know exactly what needs to be done. And this guy, Demetrio, is ready to build. So the first thing that has to happen is these large holes have to go up, which is the base of the palapa. There are 12 of them. So first thing they need to do was sand them all down, and then it's time to move them into the holes, or the feet, I believe they call it, for the poles to sit in. You can see how genius they are at maneuvering these things using fragments of other logs. And don't be fooled, these posts are extremely heavy, and you'll see once they try to get it up into place, it takes all of them to get that thing up. Okay, so they're positioning it to land directly into the foot. Okay, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. Vamos. So they move quickly, get the pole straight upright. And then they'll rely on Demetrio making sure that it is indeed straight up and down, no level needed. More cement deliveries. Always more cement deliveries. This is a never-ending cycle of going to Don Mario, ordering it, getting it delivered. And this is how our guys are mixing the cement. Bag by bag, they drop it, they'll mix it in that giant cement pile, and then transport it with the wheelbarrows. Constant mixing of the cement here. You can see all of the madera, the wood, the posts in the background here. All of that is going to be used to construct the palapa. Okay, so here's, after we get the cement all mixed up, it's going to go right in the hole that the post is sticking in. Here you can see it. Lots and lots of cement to make sure that that thing is stabilized. And then they'll throw in these piedras, these giant rocks. Oops, mix it up first. Make sure there's no air bubbles in there. And now they'll put the rocks in here. Big rocks. And that's just, again, to kind of stabilize it, keep that post in place, keep it in a vertical position. It's just science, people. All right, and listo. This one is done. You can see the orange tubes are for electrical. It's a conduit for the lights. Look at those a little bit later. Okay, so looking at some of the materials and supplies here, mostly just sweat and wood, but we've got some rope here, which we'll see how it's used in a moment. And these are giant tornillos, I believe they're called, which are the screws. You can see how substantial those are. They'll cut them down for the appropriate length, but those are some hardcore screws there.
No, that's for the mixing the cement. Yep.
So here's the progress. They actually worked very quickly to get those posts up. You can see now they've got the scaffolding erected. Okay, so they're going to lay this first circle that's going to go all the way around and connect to each one of the vertical posts. Guy's up there with his chainsaw and then just making sure they're kind of just slotting the wood, and so it fits in there really nice and securely. A little fine detailing here with a handsaw. You can't really appreciate just how high these guys actually are. So here are the posts, and these are the ones that'll span and go up to the top, the point of the palapa. And you can see how they do it again. They slot to these two long poles, and then they'll take those screws and just screw them in. You can see how just tightly that fits. It's really kind of beautiful workmanship here. Okay, and so those long posts now you can see are now arcing up from that first lowest circle and meeting up at the very top to form the point up there. So to measure the size of the upright, they just use the string from the center to this guy on the ladder here. They've got the amount of string that's required, so they're going to put it down on this beam here, measure it, and then they'll cut it off, and then it should be the exact size that's going to fit right up there. And again, just appreciate how high it is up there at the very apex of the palapa. And this is the heavy lifting to get those beams up. And you can see Don Demetrio, he's there to help out during the critical stages here. So he's going to heave this thing up with everyone's help. He's going a little Hulkamania with his shirt there. And this, I think, was probably the hairiest part of the construction, is to get those giant beams pulled up and situated and placed in just the right fit, because it's really tight how they have it measured out, as you saw with the string before. So it's not easy to just lift it up and put it in there, but it's really just, I'm so impressed at the ingenuity and the way that they maneuver those things with just muscle and leverage and rope. And I'm not going to lie, I was getting pretty nervous at this next step here. It was probably the hairiest part of the construction that I actually saw. Okay. As they had to maneuver this thing, and so they got the guys at the top of the scaffolding who are now going to be hoisting it up. They've got the beam secured here with rope. Up it goes. Well, that didn't look easy, but they got number 3 up, so 9 more to go. So now what they're doing is just trimming off the edge that's a little bit longer. The wind is not helping these guys way up there. Not for me. This is money well spent. So we've got all those beams now meeting at the very top, so we're going to start with the uppermost circle here to connect all of those beams from underneath. Meanwhile, at the other side of the Palapa, Seppi and his crew are still working on the bathrooms, shower rooms, and the kitchen area. So you can see Seppi here spackling away. So here's a quick summary of where we are today. It feels like it's been slow at first, and then all at once, everything is kind of coming together. So we've got the Palapa guys doing their thing up here. You can see now the wall that comes, kind of the retaining wall that comes all the way around the kitchen and the bathroom has been done. It looks gorgeous. All of this here is called escombro, and what that does, they're going to do is just fill that in over here inside the wall. You can see on this side it's already been done, so it's ready for a floor. So we'll finish that and figure out what we're going to do. If we're going to put kind of concrete as a paseo or a little street around it, I think we'll probably end up just going with some gravel instead. And then there'll be about a 50 centimeter strip in here of greenery, so maybe grass or plants. We'll plant that just for the aesthetic. So the guys here, our crew now, they are working and actually putting cement inside the floor here. So we're working on the floors now. Right there is our shower room. You can see the outside has been finished over here on the kitchen, and they're working to finish this side as well now. It's called tres manos, so they go over it 3 different times. You can see at different parts here. This is the finishing here, and you can see they're working through here on a little bit more of the rougher initial part, and then they'll go over it 2 more times to make sure it's nice and smooth and finished like this. So everything is coming together now, and shortly it feels like we're going to have a Palapa that is more or less functioning. And I say less because we still don't have electricity, but we're happy. We're super happy. On the morning of May 3rd, we got a text from our friend and soon-to-be neighbor reminding us that today was Dia del Albañil. Albañiles. I hope I'm saying that right. It translates to the bricklayers or masons, and it's a really big celebration. It's a big day for our guy Seppi and his crew, and it's the Santa Cruz is the patron saint of the masons and bricklayers. So we had no idea. We're still new to this. There's always, every weekend or every other day, it seems like there's some celebration of a different saint, and so you'll hear fireworks going off all the time, and in the pueblas, and it's some celebration. But this is one that we need to put on our calendar because we need to honor our guys, our workers. We had no idea that this was such a big day for them. So as we got to the land, of course, the guys aren't working on this day, but they did get there early and put a cross up on the construction site, which is the traditional thing to do. Santa Cruz translates to cross, so that is really the symbolic figure of the day. So it's traditional. You'll see any construction projects in and around Mexico on this day, May 3rd, that they'll put up a commemorative cross. It's really quite a lovely tradition. You can see it back here. So it's kind of a tradition for the owners to have a party for all of the workers on this day, and we were mortified, of course, because we didn't know this tradition. But it was okay. Seppi had already planned to host a party at his place, and he was kind enough to invite us over as well. So we went over there just with armloads of beers for the guys to celebrate, and it was great. And it's obviously it's something that they take very seriously, and we were able to kind of celebrate the afternoon with them. It was really cool to be part of this tradition. And next year we're not going to flub this holiday. So arriving to the land today, you can see that's Don Demetrio way up on top of the Palapa there, and the guys are installing this grass straw to the Palapa to provide the roof. You can see it going up here. This grass is grown, it's very sustainable grass. It's grown in Quintana Roo out near Tulum, and they just bring it in. And very intricate how they weave it together and overlap it. Palapa roofs can be done either with palm leaves or this grass, and we were told this grass is a little bit better at keeping it, the water out, and it'll last a little bit longer and holds up to the winds a little bit better than the palms. But either one is good, and they're both each unique. So you can see here, as the guys are stitching the grass in, Don Demetrio is going around the outside, creating these little intermediate circles for the grass to secure to. And he's just working his way all the way around. And these guys start at the bottom and work their way up to the top, putting the grass in and overlapping it. And notice these guys are mostly working without shoes and just maneuvering themselves around. It's very skillful and quite nerve-wracking, to be honest. Meanwhile, Seppi's guys are busy now starting to construct the pool. So we're starting with the rock wall, making sure it's level, and building it up again to the same height as the Palapa to make sure that if there's any flooding, it won't go into the pool. So standard construction here with this rock wall as per usual. You guys have seen this before. And here we are. They're very fast at building these walls. So you can see now this beautiful wall that's going to serve as the foundation or the wall for the pool. Now the next thing on the list was to create these 4 entrances or exits in a really artistic way. So we're deviating from exactly what the architects had planned for us, and the reason why was because they wanted to erect similar structures like this at each entrance, and we thought it would just be too dark and it would limit a lot of the wind flow through there. So we were just going to erect these really cool kind of pointed entrances at each of the 4 cardinal planes. So the north, east, south, and west entradas will have these design elements that we're working on. So Little bit that this is the east wall or east exit here, and the tree is getting in the way a little bit, and we don't want to tear down the tree at all. So we're just going to angle the entrance up like this. And that should provide a pretty cool artistic feature while still allowing a lot of light and air flow through the Palapa. So as you can see, we are like 90% of the way there. So I'm really excited. In the next video, I hope to be able to show you the completed version of the Palapa. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions downstairs in the comments. Just sit downstairs. Zapatillo. Zapatillo. Chacte. All these fragments of wood that's being preserved. Look at that. This thing's really heavy. Look at all this. We're going to use all this wood for stools and other projects. It's just beautiful.